Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 6th day of March 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-out proudly supported by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union. Credit Union looks forward to serving the Cayman community for the next 50 years and beyond. So let's quickly look at the birthdays being celebrated today. Mr. Errol Watler celebrates his birthday today. Fabian A. Worms also celebrates his birthday today, as well as Danny Roach. So those are the birthdays that we have so far for today. Tomorrow we see Clara Smith celebrating a birthday, as well as Annette Borden. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out. Of course, proudly brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. I will dispense with my further opening remarks this morning, because we do have guests in the studio, one guest so far, and we will be joined by the Deputy Governor at some point during the show as well. But it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now this morning, no stranger. We need to probably make her a part of Radio Cayman's communication team. But of course, she is with the ministry now, Miss Ventisha Connolly, who's the events manager
for the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage. But today,
okay.
I am the head of logistics and volunteers for the Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge.
That's right. And last year, you were the one on the, at the podium,
yes.
As well, given all of the instructions and everything. I do remember, because my cycling group, we were all out there supporting it before we continued on our ride after that to West Bay.
Yeah, and it's actually quite funny, because standing out there and doing all the announcements and stuff is how I've gotten recognized by people. I've had little kids go, "Mom, that's the lady who was doing the announcements for the run." It's like, yeah, that's me.
Excellent, excellent. So, without any further ado, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good morning, Grand Cayman, but especially good morning to the Sister Islands, my home, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. I will be seeing you in less than 12 hours. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, so tell us about the DG's 5K challenge.
So it's back this month, March, with the races in all 3 islands. This Sunday, March the 8th, we're in Cayman Brac. Then Sunday, March the 15th, we're in Little Cayman. And then we wrap with the big finale here, Sunday, March the 29th in Grand Cayman. So it's coming up real quick and fast. And so sign up is at www.racecaribbean.com. You can head over there, choose the event you want to register for. Everything's online this time around. So I'm going to start off by talking about the 3 charities that are to benefit from this year's challenge, because every year we have at least 3 charities who benefit from the funds that we raise. And this year, the DG has chosen the Special Olympics Cayman Islands. It's to support their team because they're participating in the World Games in Chile in 2027. So they've been raising funds for that. The Breast Cancer Foundation to support their mammogram voucher program. And his very first charity is now going to come back around, which is Jasmine. And it is to support the purchase of specialized hospital cuddle beds and tablets to facilitate mobile charting by nurses making home visits. Excellent. So 3 very worthy charities that we are donating, raising funds for this year.
Excellent, excellent. And I must say, that the Scouts Association benefited from last year's event as well, and we're extremely grateful and thankful, for that. We can always use the additional financial help, and that proved to be so invaluable to us as well. With that, we want to say good morning and welcome to the DG, the Honorable Franz Manderson. Yes. Good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, sir, and good morning to the people of the Cayman Islands. A great pleasure to be here. Mr. Connolly, thank you very much for having us, talking about the Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge. So this is my last one as Deputy Governor, so we wanted to do everything we can to make this one very special. As Ms. Ventisha said, we have identified some really outstanding charities that do some really good work across our islands. But yes, Mr. Connor, I was very pleased that we were able to work with our Scouts. That's one of the organizations that I has admired for years. And then the Girls Brigade and the 1-to-1 last year, where we raised $93,660. So I'm very, very pleased with that. So I think, we say this is a challenge. So I've always, challenged person. So I think we have an opportunity here to do something very special. Challenge in terms of numbers. So, we haven't hit that, I think, 2,500 mark yet. We've been over 2,300.
Okay.
But I would really love to see 2,500 people come out, which would be, I think last year was the largest 5K ever in Cayman, but let's take that to another level. And we've never reached that $100,000 where we can donate a full $100,000 to our charities. So no pressure on the team and no pressure, Cayman. But I think I keep saying, Mr. Connor, that there's no downside to this in that you are out there walking, getting your heart rate up. You get to see people that you have never seen before in such a long time. There's so many people there. And you're giving back to some amazing charities. And that's what I think what makes Cayman special is that when we all come together, for a common cause. Some really good things happen. So very excited. I am headed over to the BRAC this afternoon. And then Sunday we are in Little Cayman on the 15th of March, and then the grand finale here in Grand Cayman on the 29th of March.
Okay, now we know that this event was your baby. You initiated it. Of course, you will be demitting office in
July.
mid-year.
Yeah.
But the event will continue.
Well, you have to ask the new DG that. The governor is completing her recruitment process at the moment. So, but I think it's a foregone conclusion that the next DG will certainly keep this up. It's actually gone international now.
Yes, a
TCI,
TCI. Yes,
and TCI is doing it as well. I'm in Bermuda in June with the head of public service over there, and I know they were thinking about it as well. So it is something very special. It's something that is near and dear to my heart, and I would, if I'm not going to, so I'm looking forward to being there next year as a participant and supporting.
So maybe as a parting gift, we can work towards reaching the 2,500 participants and the 100,000 mark. As far as contributions are concerned as well. Can we talk about the this year's theme as well?
Yes, sir. Ms. Ventisha, you want to just...
Sure. So this year's theme is Honoring the Journey, Powered by Heart. And we've kind of broken it out into two pieces. So Honoring the Journey is, of course, honoring Mr. Manderson's journey as DG and the Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge under his leadership, the journey of the Special Olympic athletes to the World Games, the journey of patients and families that Jasmine supports, and the journey of a breast cancer patient that is supported by the Breast Cancer Foundation. And Powered by Heart, well, that's us in a nutshell. It's the sense of caring which underpins both Jasmine and the Breast Cancer Foundation, as well as our civil service. Our value for passion and the use of heart refers to the courage and strength of character which characterizes our Special Olympic athletes and the patients that are supported by Jasmine and the Breast Cancer Foundation.
The symbolism there is really amazing, because the heart, will be doing most of the work whenever you're exercising and when you're participating as well. So that symbolism is so strong.
I mean, when I seen it, and Mr. Connolly, I got to give a lot of credit to the team, Ms. Jennifer Ahern, who is the chair. They call her co-chair, but she really is the chair. Ms. Ventisha here, who does just about everything. The entire organization committee, Ms. Camille Stahl-Davy helps us over in Little Cayman.
Okay.
It is a really great team event, and I'm really blessed to have such committed civil servants and members of the public. There's always people wanting to volunteer for shirts pickup or to help with registration. There's always been a good community, I think, effort. What I want to say as well is that, I think Ms. Ventisha said it earlier, was that Jasmine was our first charity. And they, unfortunately, being the first, they got the least. A bit of money.
Yes.
When we first started, 12,500. We had actually, our goal was to give them 5,000, but they used that money to build their building that they now have. So I felt very passionate about choosing them again, make sure that they are included. And people ask me why Special Olympics, and I think it was because, Mr. Connor, when we did this back when they were the charity back in 2015, they were raising money to go to the games in LA, and I was watching the opening ceremony, and when I saw those athletes walking out of the stadium, the joy on their face, and knowing that we had been part of that is something that I'm never ever going to forget. So I really wanted to include them again, and it's always a pleasure to work with our Special Olympic athletes and to make their lives a little better.
Certainly. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, when we return, the conversation will continue with Miss Ventisha Connolly and Honorable Franz Manderson, Deputy Governor. We're talking about the DG's 5K Challenge taking place first on Sunday, this coming Sunday, March the 8th in Cayman Brac, then on Sunday the 15th in Little Cayman, and on Sunday the 29th of March in Grand Cayman. We're looking to exceed the current record. We want to have at least 2,500 participants and to raise, in terms of sponsorships and donations, at least 100,000 CI dollars. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll return after this short commercial break.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Alexander Selvin Eden, 1888 through 1985. Alexander Selvin Eden was a dedicated family man. He and his wife, Sarah Leonie Nee West, had 7 children, and their father made sure that they had the best education available. He loved to work the land and also raised livestock, providing steady employment for others. As a young man, he worked overseas on the construction of the Florida East Coast Railway, returning home after World War I. His major contribution was filling the void in transportation of goods and passengers between Georgetown and Bordentown, which he did with a horse-drawn carriage for 35 years in all kinds of conditions. The government called upon him for many duties in his district, including police service, tax collection, operation of the cattle dip to control ticks, service as foreman of roadworks, and as pound keeper, keeping stray cattle until their owners reclaimed them, and the maintenance of telephone lines. He also served as a member of the Assembly of Justices and Vestry.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Saturday, April 18th, will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today, rotarysciencefair.ky. The future is sparking.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola or parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
Back in '76, 7 of us came together with one vision to help Caymanians help themselves. From 7 to over 20,000 strong, we still believe in helping members grow together.
Because when one of us succeed, we all rise.
Visit creditunion.ky to become a member today.
The Credit Union, serving Cayman for 50 years and still growing together.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less. And props, she use a card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have in the studio with us Miss Ventisha Connolly and the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson. We're talking about the DG's 5K Challenge. This interview will end at 8 o'clock, but we have several other interviews scheduled as well. And why do we have other interviews? Because on Sunday, the 8th of March, the event will take place in Cayman Brac. And then a week later, it'll take place in Little Cayman. So we'll be back to talk more about that. And then on the 29th of March, it'll take place in Grand Cayman, and we'll be talking more as well. So, folks, I'm not going to waste the valuable time of these two good folks in the studio. I'm going to pass the mic right over to them.
Mr. Connor, thank you. And before we head out, I really wanted to thank our headline sponsors. So our diamond sponsor is Appleby, our platinum sponsor is Butterfield, and they have been with us from, I believe, day one. And then our gold sponsors is EY, Cynical, Davenport Development, Civil Service Association, Cooperative Credit Union, and DART. So really want to thank our sponsors and all of the persons who have donated and given their time and their and funds to make the event very successful. I was looking at our figures, so we have been here since 2014. We had a pause during COVID, but we are now at $742,000.
Wow.
So that is amazing. Really outstanding that we have been able to give that type of money back to our charities. And I just want to mention that, we, in addition to the beneficiaries that we are doing now, you mentioned the Boy Scouts, but we also had the Cayman Heart Fund, and they helped purchase an ambulance with that. Mm-hmm. We have done Feed Our Future, Meals on Wheels. We have done the Crisis Center, Alec Panton Foundation, the Special Needs Foundation. We have done the Cancer Society, the MS Foundation, Alzheimer's and Dementia Association. We've done the Red Cross, Loud Silent Voices, Anti-Bullying Foundation, Boys to Men, NCVO, and Addison Kelly Memorial Scholarship Fund. We've done the Kiwanis Club for their breakfast program. We've done the Connolly's Care Center in Cayman Brac. And then one year we gave some money to the Little Cayman Primary School for their one student that they had over there to buy to do a grow box. So amazing. We have been able to touch charities in so many different areas, and I'm really proud of what we've been able to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little about how the event has evolved over the years?
Oh, so I wasn't there for the very first one in 2014. I joined the planning committee in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And 2016 was the first year we actually took the event to Cayman Brac. And so we took it to the Brac, and I think for the first 2 years, 2016 and 2017, we had it just in Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac. And then someone said, well, why not all three islands? Yes. And so it evolved and grew from there, that now we have stalwarts who do every race. I think of Daniel Lee and Carol McKenzie and their run club, who, trips around the Cayman Islands every year with us to do Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman. And they bring persons with them for those weekends. I know Carol and Odie over at Kirk Freeport, they now have almost a Kirk Freeport run club that, participates in this event. So it has helped persons, evolve in their well-being, their physical well-being, but also, like DG said before, it's a community. When people come out to this race, it's, I haven't seen you in forever. Even though we do run and we're active and whatnot, but it's that community feeling that we get with the DG 5K. So.
And can you talk a little bit about some of the booths, the rest stops, the water stops and stuff like that, and how they have been so innovative? I remember one year, for instance, Jerome and his this spinning group, they had their spinning cycles out there. I think at that time they were on the junction of South Sound Road and Old Crew Road, somewhere in that area. Some of them have become quite innovative. Yes.
So our water stop sponsors are. Let me remember those ones. I can't remember those ones right now.
That's okay.
However, yes, our halfway stop is sponsor is Cynical, and they always have balloons and noisemakers and people out on the race course at the halfway mark, which is right around, I want to say, Walker's Road and is that Memorial or Melmac?
It's Melmac. Melmac Avenue.
So they're there. The team from Maples is out at the Uglin House, which is one of our water stops. There's going to be another team, I want to say Deloitte, at our first water stop, which is in front of Winner's Circle. And then our final water stop is at Heroes Square. And it's slipping me right now who that final water stop is, because we've had so many great sponsors come on board. So, we are very much thanking them for coming on board and being a part of this with us. And I know we've got about 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to reiterate our stuff and
registration and
stuff. Yes. I mean, OC knows, he just has to call and I'll come. But yes, our event this year, we're on all three islands. This coming Sunday, March the 8th, we're in Cayman Brac, so it starts and ends at Cayman Brac Beach Resort. Packet pickup is going to be tomorrow from 9 to 5 at the Brac Reef conference room. I will be in there. Deputy Governor will be there. Jennifer will be there. Most of our planning team will be there, helping to hand out race packets. Start time for the race is 6:30 on Sunday morning.
Okay.
And all of our registration this year is online. We really aren't doing paper registration. We're trying to get away from hurting our trees. So register online at racecaribbean.com before you come, and you'll be assigned a bib number and you get to pick up your shirt. The registration fee is $25 for adults, so that's 18 or older, and $10 for youth, so that's 17 and younger. It is a BYOB. We encourage everyone to bring their water bottles, bring their cups, to help our environment also. There is always raffle prizes at the end. So it's not a race that you just run and then say bye.
Yes.
Stick around, have some delicious fruits. Our big sponsor in the BRAC is Cayman BRAC Beach Resort.
Okay.
They donate the use of the conference room, but they also donate the snacks in the morning. So there's fresh granola, yogurt, fruits, juices. And then if you go and have breakfast, which we usually do every morning after the race, there's a discounted breakfast that they offer to the public at BRAC Reef. So we thank them for coming on board as sponsors and being a big part of this since its inception when we started going to the BRAC. So, we are very thankful for that. And I'm going to push here because we always love when people call and donate stuff for prizes. We love to give away at least 50 prizes here in Grand Cayman. We do about 10 or 15 of those in the BRAC, and then we'd have some for Little Cayman also. And if you are listening and want to donate a prize, please reach out to us. Contact us at supportdg5k@gov.ky, or reach out to myself or Jennifer Ahern, or Charmaine Dalhouse Morgan, or Nancy Bernard, or Nadira Lord, or Kara Cole. The list goes on. Just reach out to any one of us and become a part of this. And we are still accepting sponsors. So our bronze level sponsor, which is $500, and it goes towards that goal of 100,000 that we're trying to reach this year, and we're going to reach it.
Let's do it.
We still have some spots for bronze sponsors. That's $500. Reach out to us again at supportdg5k@gov.ky, and we have 1 kilometer marker that's left. That's a $1,000 sponsorship. So any company out there who wants to get their name out there, we do put your stuff on the kilometer marker, your logo and stuff, so people see it as they're running by. Reach out to us again. That's $1,000 for a kilometer marker. Support DG5K@gov.ky. So opportunities are still available to help us help our community.
And lots of exposure for those companies as well. Remember now, the civil service is the largest employer,
That's right.
On the island. So,
and you're going to have a lot of people out there participating. So it's a great opportunity to bring some recognition to your company.
Certainly.
Yes.
I know we're over time, but
Yes,
DJ,
sir.
you wanted to make an observation, and I want to give you an opportunity.
Yes, sir. And just again, thank you very much for having us. Folks, go to Race Caribbean, sign up for the DJ's 5K. If you can't come to all 3 islands, then at least choose one and come. But yeah, Mr. Connor, I think we had a historic day in Parliament yesterday. It was so I think I was so proud to sit there yesterday and see the bipartisan support on some very contentious matters, very important matters for our country, but everyone working together, everyone talking to each other, whether there was some side meetings, meeting in the wells, meetings in the meeting room, talking things out, working together. Premier, was leading the charge, but he had great support from the opposition as well. And at the end of the day, we passed some historic motions in terms of one that I think can be a game changer for our islands in terms of looking at how we restrict social media for our young people. And I think we all agree that our young people are spending way too much time on social media. But at the end of it, and I'll end here, the speaker said, Mr. Miller, that in his time in Parliament, he had never seen an entire day go by without a no vote. So that was something I think we should all be very proud of. And the people of the Cayman Islands can see that the government and the opposition are all working together for the betterment of our people. So
certainly, and that's what people want. Yes, that's a great observation there as well. So folks, don't forget Sunday, the 8th of March, Cayman Brack. Yes. Cayman Brack, the DG's 5K. So you still have an opportunity, I guess, if they want to travel over there as well and participate in that. And we will be talking more about the other events taking place as well. Again, DG and Miss Ventisha, thanks for taking the time out to be right here and For the Record to pass that information on. I want to thank our listeners, thank our sponsors as well. We're going to our 8 o'clock news. When we return after the 8 o'clock news, we will have Minister, the Honorable Michael Myles, in the studio with us. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
For today's biggest news,
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Connolly Fuller. A 28-year-old is found guilty of attempted rape and multiple sexual offenses against a 13-year-old girl. Radio Cayman's Jevi Ebanks has more on the verdict in the case against Jason Preston McLean.
Justice Richards delivered the verdict on Tuesday afternoon, saying the victim's account was clear, consistent, and far more credible than Mr. McLean's denials. The convictions related to 3 incidences in 2023. In the first, on the 14th of February, McLean entered a bathroom while the girl was showering and indecently touched her. At around the time of Bata Banu, he invited her to perform sexual acts, and he performed sexual acts in front of her. The most serious offenses occurred in June when he touched her breast area and attempted to rape her. Mr. McLean denied all wrongdoing, claiming the girl lied to avoid being sent overseas. However, a witness he called contradicted him, telling the courts that he had confessed in July 2023 to asking the victim to engage with him sexually and begging for forgiveness. Justice Richards said this severely undermined his credibility, along with his implausible explanations about clothing mishaps and inconsistent timelines. The judge described the victim as articulate, honest, and reliable. She stressed that the girl's age and McLean's adulthood made the lack of consent indisputable. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
A teen is sent to the detention center after getting busted for drugs near Woodpecker Close in Georgetown. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says the 18-year-old was arrested on possession and consumption of ganja, as well as possession with intent to supply, after he was stopped by officers on patrol Monday night around 9:30 p.m. The matter remains under investigation. In other news, MPs are heading back to Parliament this morning after another action-packed day of House business on Thursday. In addition to ministers answering several parliamentary questions and debating private members' motions, the National Coalition for Caymanian's administration also tabled and debated 3 financial services bills. MPs then passed those, as well as 3 others they debated on Wednesday, with all 6 getting third readings.
The Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Bill, the Health Insurance Amendment Bill, the Health Insurance Commission Amendment Bill, the Virtual Asset Service Providers Amendment Bill, the Mutual Funds Amendment Bill, the Private Funds Amendment Bill has been read a third time and is passed.
Proceedings resume today at 10 a.m., which you can catch live on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. After Parliament this evening, Cayman will see the official launch of the Cayman branch of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, and more than 300 local women are expected to attend tonight's event at the House of Parliament. A portion of Fort Street in front of Parliament will be closed today from 1 to 9 p.m. to facilitate the event. And Cayman's brightest young musicians took center stage at the 18th Annual Young Musician of the Year Award ceremony. CIDTV's Levita Thompson reports.
8 outstanding student musicians competed this year, each bringing remarkable skill and passion to their performance. Taking the top title was Alexa Valencia of St. Ignatius Catholic School and Spark School of Performing Arts, whose piano performance earned her the 2026 crown. Runner-up honors went to Charlotte Gotar, representing UCCI and the K-Musica Starlight program, for a captivating flute performance. The annual competition continues to be a powerful platform celebrating musical excellence across the Cayman Islands. For more information, follow DES Cayman on Instagram.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Connolly Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Israel and the US have continued their attacks on Tehran and other cities across Iran. As the war enters its 7th day, the Iranian Red Crescent says over 1,000 people have been killed in the bombing campaign. Israel's armed forces have intensified the bombing campaign in Lebanon with airstrikes on Beirut's southern suburbs, a stronghold of Hezbollah. The Israeli military says it's hit a command centre and a drone depot. Iran says it's targeted US bases in Kuwait with drones and has vowed to continue its fight back. Earlier, explosions were heard over Tel Aviv as the Israeli military said it had detected Iranian missiles and was working to intercept them. Qatar has warned that the US-Israeli war against Iran could bring down the economies of the world. The energy minister said he expected all energy producers in the Gulf region to shut down exports within weeks. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. Beach and Reggae Sundays on Breeze 105.3 FM from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health. 2 locations, Governor Square and Grand Harbor. Governor Square open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grand Harbor open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and open on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 947-8900 or visit healthcarepharmacy.ky.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
And Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The 8 a.m. weather update, brought to you by
CG Brickade, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 84%. The barometric pressure is 30.01 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-northeast at 8 knots. Overnight low was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate winds and seas along with some isolated showers are expected across the Cayman area over the next 24 hours as low-level moisture and instability linger over the northwest Caribbean. Radar imagery show a few isolated showers around the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today is calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will rise to the mid-80s with a heat index near 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Forecast for tonight, calling for cloudy skies with a 40% chance of nighttime showers and possible thunder, and temperatures dipping near the mid to upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet as well. Today's high tide will be this morning at 10:45, low tide this evening at 2 minutes past 5, and a high tide again tonight at 11:47. The sun will set this evening at 6:31 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:41. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through the weekend as moisture and instability linger across the region. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos. Oh, Lordy.
Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony.
CG Brit K. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit K, where people come first. For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
It's back. It's crispy. It's delicious. St. Ignatius Youth Ministry presents Friday Fish Fry Nights. 5 weeks of flavor. February 27, March 6, 13, 20th, and the 27th. Serving from 5 until 7:30 p.m. at the St. Ignatius School Canteen. Dine in or take out. Menu includes fried or baked snapper $17 or mai $15. Served with fries or rice, coleslaw, escovitch, fritters, and more. Drinks just $1. Free desserts while they last. Eat good, do good. Every bite supports our youth ministry trip to the Steubenville High School Youth Conference in Orlando, Florida this summer. Come hungry, leave happy. See you there.
K-Fest 2026 is here. The Cayman National Cultural Foundation brings Cayman's biggest art season, featuring 3 standout experiences. The legendary National Dance Theater Company of Jamaica performing Rise, K-Fest on Film, presented by DART, and the beloved Red Sky at Night, a multidisciplinary arts fair under the stars with local performers and artisans. You don't want to miss it. Catch NDTCJ live at the Hartwell Theater on Friday, March 6th, and join us for Red Sky at Night on March 21st. Tickets are available now at ticketsplus.ky.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Craving something new? Dive into Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes inspired by the flavors of the coast, including the crunchy seafood bliss, the scrumptious chipotle tuna crunch, and the delicious breaded fish and ranch sub, made with our new breaded fish nuggets. Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes made to rock the boat. Only at Subway.
Good morning. Let's check in with traffic to see what's slowing, what's flowing. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story as traffic is steady. And as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, expect some delays as you head on down to Georgetown. It's a crawl-a-thon happening on Cool Road. Delays expected. Heading east on Cool Road, traffic is at a moderate pace, as well as on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. Coming off of the Estella Tibbetts Highway, steady bit flowing traffic, and continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, moving at a moderate pace. A little steady traffic heading towards the Georgetown area on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz. Heading towards the West Bay area in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The annual Rotary Central Health Check is here! Saturday, March 7th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 5 locations island-wide. Cost you less: West Bay, A.L. Thompson's, Georgetown, Foster's Airport, Savannah United Church Hall, East End Health Center. Free blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar checks. Healthy weight assessment, medical consultations, and more. Be a blood donor. The Rotary Blood Donor Mobile Unit will be positioned at the Savannah United Church Hall, Saturday, March 7th. Save the date and save your life. The annual Rotary Central Health Check. Free for you, valued at over $2,000. Your health is your wealth.
Screenings are an important part of preventative care, yet 32% of women aged 25 to 49 living in Cayman have never had a cervical screening. Similarly, only 30% of men ages 18 to 69 report having had a prostate exam. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases such as cancer. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, we have the Honorable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, in the studio with us. Just a little bit of housekeeping. The Minister will leave us around about 9:30, so we'll have about an hour and 10 minutes with him in the studio. Of course, Parliament still continues, so he has to return there. We are planning on opening up the phone lines for about half an hour before the minister leaves as well. With that, Minister, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to the listening public. And I would like to wish all of our females in our country happy Women's Month. Mm-hmm. If you can see me, I'm wearing my purple.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I'm representing as well. OC, thank you again for having me on. And I'm hoping to bring good news today on the many things that we're working on.
Excellent. And to remind our listening and viewing audience as well that this is, a part of your efforts to keep our listeners, the people of the Cayman Islands, informed as far as the issues that are being addressed. And it's almost like a talking tour that we're going to be on for the next, several, for the entire month of March, actually.
Absolutely.
That you will be doing this. And of course, on Monday, we had the benefit of having persons from pensions and labor in the studio with us as well. So with that, let's hear some of the good news.
So, OC, I'm happy that you mentioned about the sort of talking and listening tour that we are also on as well. I know the opposition also have their listening tour too. Yes. But, my goal for the ministry and my department has always been to ensure that people are kept informed. I have lots and lots of stakeholder meetings. I meet with, just about any organization that want to meet and want to ensure that they understand where we're going with immigration or with pensions or labor or employment. And it's been really great. Our stakeholders, which is the business community, have helped us shaped a lot of our policies that are coming up, and certainly shaped a number of our laws as well. On Wednesday in Parliament, we brought the Immigration Act 2026 because we had 3 pieces of legislation in that were critical for us to transition into the already approved immigration amendments that were made in December of 2025. Our fees, our express fees, and I've mentioned it several times in the show, after 15 years, we recognize that temporary express fees were never really enshrined in law. So we had to correct that, and we also had to ensure that persons who had already applied for permanent residence were not disenfranchised by being transitioned into or being caught up into the 20-year qualification period, that we will keep them in the 15-year. And so we corrected that as well on Wednesday. And then there's been a lot of pushback, and mind you, this has been going on for a number of years, from Caymanians that they're tired of having to prove that they are Caymanian. And I think it came to a head when we started to implement our ID, our national ID. A number of Caymanians that were born before the year 1977, basically, there were a lot of complaints, and they're saying, I do not, and I will not prove that I'm Caymanian. I was born in this country. I was raised in this country. My generations and lineage go back, multiple generations, and I'm not going to have to prove that. So we wanted to correct that as well. So we put in a deeming piece of legislation within this group of amendments, and that was also passed too. So I'm very excited to say to Caymanians that the whole acknowledgement that we normally, in particular those folks that were born before 1977, no longer will have to do that. That all they would have to show is their birth certificate. We have mulled over this with the opposition as well. We've had multiple meetings with them, and hence why it passed in the House. With just about everyone voting for it, because we all felt that that it was a good piece of legislation that we needed to ensure that Caymanians aren't disenfranchised. The goal is to continue to rectify things that hasn't worked well in the immigration system. And this is what I've said to our stakeholders, which is the business community, Caymanians alike, but also our business stakeholders who seem to believe that things should stay stagnant in our country. Mm-hmm. They are immigration laws, policies that haven't worked for us. For me to come in and watch this and then just participate that we should just keep the status quo isn't what we're going to do. However, I also know that we simply cannot do a complete overhaul, immediately. We have to do this to where it is, to make a long story short, to ensure that it's more piecemeal for folks, that we can all sort of get with the times of this, because if we do not, if we shock the system, then we potentially could either lose business or potentially scare business off. So what the NCFC government is doing is looking at what was critical, and this is the stuff that we did in December, looking at the urgent stuff in March, and then probably every quarter we are looking at what else we need to bring in order to improve the immigration laws and certainly the immigration policy. Currently, we are working on a national immigration policy because in the last 2 decades, we've never had a national policy which would reduce some of the, or just about all of the, sometimes confusion, because everybody interprets the law differently. So if we have a national policy, our staff at immigration, certainly, the business community and government officials, we're all on the same page. So that policy will sort of interpret what the laws are saying. Right now, we don't have that, and that is now currently being developed. And I'm hoping that in the next 4 to 6 months, we should be able to bring that into the public domain, have some discussions on what that is, and then move that into our immigration department to ensure that all of our staff and certainly our community is all on the same page.
Excellent. So as far as the acknowledgement, the amendment that has been made and now that is being enshrined into the legislation, how binding will that be on, we know government entities, but the private sector, how binding will that be on them? Because there are instances where they still may require a person to present evidence that they are Caymanian.
Yes. So everybody will still have to provide a birth certificate. Mm-hmm. We have a list of everyone that was born between 1972 and 1977, and this is really the largest group that have been impacted by this. There's certainly, folks that are in their 70s and some even 90s, that want the ID and they're not going to apply for an acknowledgement. Our immigration records also, there's no sort of immigration records per se that has gone back 70s, 60s, 50s, and 40s, right? So we are often requiring on, British overseas territory citizen, that whole BOTC law, that has specific qualifications and how people become a British citizen. So what we have put in is that once you're able to show your birth certificate and an ID, which could be a passport or a driver's license, we will then go ahead and process that. Ensure that your acknowledgement is processed. Now, I'll see one of the things that I want to highlight to the folks right now is that when I got acknowledged, my mother had to do an affidavit for me. The average person, let's say, and I know Minister Anglin brought up this particular point. Let's say an individual, that lived here back in 1977 or 80 or whatever, that individual had a child here. That individual currently only have to have 3 affidavits and they and fill out the current application form and submit that to the Department of Work, and that is taken because there's no records, there's no computer records that we kept back in the 70s and 60s and so forth. So we felt that it was a very low risk in ensuring that those Caymanians born before March 27, 1977, all they have to show is their birth certificate and an ID, and they should be able to be acknowledged. And as I said, the records that we've kept is all live births in the Cayman Islands, and those are open documents, right? So we do have access to that. What we want to ensure is that Caymanians aren't disenfranchised by having to prove their Caymanianness at this point.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. The conversation with the Honourable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, will continue after this short commercial break.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dawson Drive, Industrial Park.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
What if your child's future could take them anywhere in the world?
Discover global opportunities at Dorman Day Winter Fair. Meet top boarding schools and summer programs from Canada, the US, and the UK, all in one place.
Explore advanced STEM programs, humanities, fine and performing arts alongside elite level sports, basketball, baseball, soccer, ice hockey, and more.
Meet admissions experts, ask questions, compare courses and campus life. Plan their global journey with confidence.
Saturday, March 7th at the Westin Ballroom from 1 to 5 p.m.
Register now at dormanday.ky.
The annual Rotary Central Health Check is here! Saturday, March 7th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 5 locations island-wide. Courcelles, West Bay, Ale Thompson's, Georgetown, Foster's Airport, Savannah United Church Hall, East End Health Center. Free blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar checks. Healthy weight assessment, medical consultations, and more. Be a blood donor. The Rotary Blood Donor Mobile Unit will be positioned at the Savannah United Church Hall, Saturday, March 7th. Save the date and save your life. The annual Rotary Central Health Check. Free for you, valued at over $2,000. Your health is your wealth.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have Minister, the Honorable Michael Myles, in the studio with us. Of course, he has constitutional responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration. You heard him, talk about the amendments to the bill being approved yesterday. So we're going to talk during the conversation. We will focus on commencement dates, the necessary changes to the immigration regulations as well. But I believe one of the things that you wanted to talk about also, Minister Myles, before we forget, is the whole issue of medicals for work permits, because that has become quite topical. Once it was raised in our parliament and now on social media, it is the hot topic. One of the hot topics.
Absolutely. I mean, it's. I know I got a lot of phone calls about it, a lot of text messages to ensure that I can reassure people that the Caymanian government is doing everything that we possibly can to ensure that they are protected, that our country is protected. I want to assure our listening audience that, there are no HIV/AIDS cases in the BRAC, and I know that spread like wildfire, that that all of a sudden there's some person over there that is spreading HIV, but there's no work permit holders over there that have tested positive for HIV currently. I know that Minister Cathy have also, due to confidentiality, we can't just say how many cases that we do have. But I want to assure the listening audience that, as the minister, our goal, and certainly my goal, is to protect our population. And we often screen quite widely persons that have HIV/AIDS. And if we believe that, they can't support themselves medically in our country, their work permits are not approved. More things, I believe, need to be tightened up with that. We are working together with health to ensure that what that looks like. Hence why last year, I think in July, just after I got elected, we implemented that all temporary work permits now have to have a medical. what I am now doing is ensuring that medicals are done properly. We are readjusting. We're working with the health ministry to readjust the medical form, because quite often, doctors were not actually filling it out to its entirety, because on that form it also has to where a doctor have to sign off on a person's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not something that a doctor felt that and most doctors are not mental health experts, so they were not signing off on the entire form. So I've had work adjust that, and as we transition to new laws, these new laws that are coming in, and certainly the change of department, all of our forms are currently being rebranded currently, but the goal is right now is to ensure that the Cayman Islands public and its people is protected. I understand people's fears. Trust me, I have the same fears. But we also have to make sure that we are not spreading gossip or spreading things that are simply not true. If there's any concerns, please call the ministry, please call the department. If you have questions about any of this information, but we are doing everything currently to make sure that our country continues to be protected.
Okay. So now that we have gone through the parliamentary process, can we talk about the next stages or
Yep.
those things to come?
So, we have now, about 40 amendments that we now need to commence, and that's what our team is working now. We'll see. Ms. Juliana mentioned, said that, she hoped that we are not going to implement or commence all of these laws on April Fool's Day, which is April 1st. And we assured her that we were not. We have been extremely busy, OC, doing several things over the last 2 months. One, I needed to ensure that all of our staff is trained up on the new legislation.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I wanted to make sure that all of our boards were trained up on all of the legislation. The AG's office has been heavily involved in this as well, and certainly you can attest that your board met with a member of the AG's office
on Wednesday.
Yes, yep. So we and that's going to be ongoing as well. Our team at work have also been meeting with their senior leaders. Their senior leaders have met with the AG's office. So a lot of that information is being passed on. This is never going to be perfect, and this is what I want to make sure that our listening audience is aware of. Our goal right now is to ensure that the department continues to be efficient. Therefore, all of this is about providing information to our people so they can make better decisions. And I believe that over the next 6 months, you're going to see a transformation of the Department of Work, not just with laws, but the things that what we're pushing now. We have added more staff to our processing and administrator team. And you can attest to this also because you were on the Business Staff and Plan Board. The Business Staff and Plan Board now meets twice a week. We've rented the second floor in the work building, which came available to ensure that we have more meeting space. We're adding to our compliance team and our processing. The goal right now is to make sure that there's no backlog for any of our boards going forward. So our administrators have been stepping up hugely at the department, and we are ensuring that we are aligning our compliance team with our processing team. So there's both. I mentioned to you earlier, OC, that one of the major things is for me has been enforcing our laws.
Mm-hmm.
We have still a lot of organizations that we're going to be cracking down on that are not paying their pension and health insurance, that are providing frivolous information. And with the new laws that are coming in, I'm just sending the warning at this point in time that all of this is going to change. Our relationship with the Department of Commerce and Investment is getting even more closely. I'm pushing to change the laws, the DCI laws that, organizations, upon applying for a trade and business license, must have a pre-approval from a health insurance or a pension company that they're up to speed. with all of their pension and health insurance. I think that has been a major challenge within our country, where trade and business licenses can be accessed and people are self-certifying. So we're changing a number of things. So I'm just saying to the business community in particular, many companies that have less than 15 people is what we're seeing right now that are not paying health insurance and pension. I have in our current law, or certainly in one of the laws that we have coming in, I have at least 14 organizations that have made mandatory that we share information upon these new laws being commenced. The Department of Labor and Pension is certainly underneath us. I've also been meeting with all pension companies. They have told me the horror stories that they're having to deal with, that when an organization gets their trade and business license, whether it's new, many of them renewing, that they're simply not paying pension and they're having to chase them down on a regular basis. This is absolutely unacceptable because a number of these companies, if not all of them, have Caymanians working for them. So if those Caymanians, if their pensions aren't being paid, then those people are dependent on the Cayman Islands government upon retirement. So a lot of this stuff we must enforce going forward, and you're going to see a number of changes coming in after April 1.
Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break. So on the other, I'll ask a question and then you can address it on the other side. You've spoken about the enhancements that are being made as far as work is concerned and additional staff. You've spoken about the training as well, and I'd like you to reflect on how that will benefit the public, because one of the complaints that you hear from people is that if you speak to one person, you get one story, and then you speak to someone. Yeah. So the consistency in terms of the application of the law and interpretation, as well, how will that be addressed? Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Ready to launch your career in hospitality?
If you're an ambitious young Caymanian, the DART Hospitality Training Program is your opportunity to shine.
This paid 4-month program gives you hands-on experience at world-class properties like Kimpton Seafire, the Ritz-Carlton, Hotel Indigo, Hampton by Hilton, and Bonnie Moon Beach Club.
Plus, DART has partnered with Lynn University to deliver an intensive 2-week hospitality curriculum from an accredited institution.
Gain real-world experience, learn from the industry leaders, and open doors to full-time careers in hospitality.
Applications close April 6, 2026, with programs starting May 2026.
Apply now at dart.ky/hospitality.
Hey, this is DJ Len from Radio Cayman 89.9 FM. One of my favorite childhood memories was when I was a kid, sitting next to the radio and waiting for that favorite song to come on. You take out your cassette tape and you hit the record button and trying to cut it off at the right time, right before the announcer starts to speak. And then sharing that music with my mom. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman. Thanks for the great memories.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. And the studio with me, the Honorable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration. Before we went to the break, my question to the Minister had to do with consistency, of information. So with new amendments to the law, with more enhanced regulations coming out as well from an internal standpoint, how will work, as well as the boards now be armed with information that can be conveyed on a consistently to the public.
Yeah, and very great question, Osi. When I was assigned the ministry, one of the things that I wanted to know was, do we have a national immigration policy? And I was told we do not. We do have policies that are in-house for immigration, certainly with the Department of Labor and Pension, but we don't have a national policy that we can give to a business holder or a regular Joe who's running a small company and they want to know how to interpret the laws. We don't have that. And I was taken back that we've never pushed to have something like that. So we've put that in our budget. And we now have a company that is going to be commissioned to do that, that is from the outside of government, that are going to look at all of our laws and are going to transform all of those laws into a policy. This is going to be critical because, as you know, and I hear the business community with this all the time. I can call immigration, I can call 5 people in immigration and get 5 different answers. We can't allow that anymore. We have to start to transform the department, and this is what I've said to my colleagues. I've been saying to the business community. A lot of what we have done is we have just kicked the can down the road because immigration has never really been about protecting our people. It's really been about fees, right? How much fees we can collect. We make about $100 million every year off of work permit fees. Fees are going to come. That's a gimme. What I'm focused now on is ensuring that we stabilize the department, that we give the director the necessary resources in order to improve the efficiency. The business community do not need to operate in the Cayman Islands. Many organizations sit on a global platform. What I want to ensure that we do over the next 4 years is everything with immigration should be predictable, right? People should know. People should be able to go online, read a document to say this is immigration policy, and that's what we in immigration, our boards, the Cayman Islands government, and any officials that deal with immigration, everyone should be able to see, here's what this means to here. Here's what this means to this. Right now, we can't do that. People are interpreting the laws. Then we have a lot of lawyers who also interpret the laws. Yep. And as you can see, we've had so many amendments to the laws over the last 40 years that people are having to pull different, different amendments, different revisions of the law. That becomes complicated after a while. And we need to ensure that we, somewhere down the line, make that simple. And therefore, a policy is necessary now. So I'm happy that the NCFC government have funded our national immigration policy. I'm happy to report that, a company has been appointed to do that work. And hopefully in the next several months, I would say between 4 to 6 months, we should have a document that we would be able to give everyone in the business community that would be on our immigration website, that people could go and download just like everything else.
So from a public expectation standpoint, when will we start to see changes as far as those amendments that have been approved?
Great question. I mean, some of the changes we've already made, right? So we've already made the changes with efficiency. One of the biggest concerns of even the NCFC government and certainly the business community, but anyone that interact with immigration has always been, why does it take us a year or if not more to process a grant? Why does it take us 8 months to process, an amendment? Why does it take us a year to process, or if not, just below that, a renewal? We need to bring those numbers down. So the goal for us right now, and this is why, one, we're doing all the training that we need to do. Two, I'm giving the director the additional staff. We were on a small hiring freeze over the last quarter, but the government is starting to do well. I've spoken to the Minister of Finance. He's allowed me to start to go ahead to look at the team. The Deputy Governor has been very gracious in ensuring that we are now getting the people in order to process faster timelines. We had over 1,500 business staffing plan work permits that were way outdated. So part of this process is getting with the business staffing plan board. You guys are now meeting twice a week. So your processing is a lot faster, and your review of work permits has been great, coupled with our administrators and certainly our processing team. Within all of this, I would say to you, will see that by mid-March, all of the backlog should be cleared up, and then it's stabilizing all of the department where we can now start to have the business staffing plan, in particular your team, start to look at the business staffing plans. Another major critique of the department is that we have a lot of organizations that are spending a lot of time on producing these business staffing plans, and they stay in revision for years. So we cannot allow that to happen. So we're moving right into clearing up the backlog, making sure that we have a good team in place, making sure that the training is a major part of this so it's consistent, but also ensuring that the business staffing plan board gets the opportunity to start reviewing with many of these organizations their business staffing plan and approve them. That's where we're going over the next 6 months. Our goal has always been the Department of Immigration, our laws, our rules, our policies. It has to be predictable for the business community. It certainly has to be predictable for the Cayman Islands government. If we're changing or moving the goal line back every time or making it up, this is where the uncertainty happens. Last week, I had at least 50 people in a stakeholder meeting, and this is what have come out of stakeholder groups. I've met with a lot of big organizations that have 300-400 people to small organizations, mom and pop shops that have less than 5 people. The complaints are the same. If I cannot get a Cayman candidate, can I please have a candidate as soon as possible? I do not want to have to do an express fee every time that I need a work permit faster. I hear you, and that's where I'm looking at how do we decrease those processing times from 8 months to less than 2 months. We have to ensure that our goal is meeting the business community halfway as well. What I'm asking the business community, that as their business expands, our Caymanian people have to be priority. They have to be priority with training, employment, and they have to be priority with promotions. because these are the things, this is what we are going after. The business community is saying, well, we would like an accredited program. We've been talking about an accredited program for the last 10 years. My goal is to ensure that over the next 4 months, we are producing an accredited program to take off some of the work permits off the table, in particular with larger employers. And we know, that most Caymanians are either not qualified for those particular positions, like partner positions or, those positions like that, or things like landscaping positions that not a lot of Caymanians want to go in. How can we ensure that some of those positions are basically just fast-tracked, removed from the board, and we need to focus on the folks who are cheating the system. We have a high-risk register of at least 30, 40 people that are cheating the system, that are not paying their pensions, that are not paying their health insurance. We need to make sure that a lot of our resources are going towards that. How do we ensure that our relationship with DCI is now even closer, that we implement better policies, that all employers have to stop self-certifying, right? That they have to upload a up-to-date pension and health insurance certification that says that all of that is paid up. This is where I'm going.
Okay, Minister, we reached the top of the hour for 9 o'clock news. We did say that at least a half an hour before you leave, we would open up the phone lines. Sure. I'm going to read this before we go to our news, and then you can respond to it when we return. This person says, I have only just tuned in and may have missed something important. I heard Minister speak about Caymanian acknowledgement for those born before 1977, but there is also the requirement for those born after March of 1977. The person says, I know this for a fact because both of my children were born after March 1977, and we had to go through that embarrassment in order for one to get their scholarships, and for the other, he had to prove he was a Caymanian in order for his wife to get her residence and employment rights certificate. Do you know if that is being amended? And then they're going to say if the minister has spoken already before I tune in, then please ignore this. I will play it back later on. But I that will give you an opportunity to mention that. Folks, top of the hour. Headline news. When we return, the phone lines will be open as well. We just ask you to please be respectful and as brief as possible, especially if we have our phone lines queued up as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
MPs are heading back to Parliament this morning after another packed day of House business on Thursday. In addition to tackling several parliamentary questions and debating private members' motions, the National Coalition for Caymanians administration also tabled and debated 3 financial services bills before passing those along with 3 others that were debated on Wednesday. Proceedings resume today at 10 a.m. and you can catch them live on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. In international news, Tehran residents have told BBC Persia, quote, last night was the worst night so far after Israel launched fresh strikes on Iran on the 7th day of conflict. The Israel Defense Forces say it carried out a, quote, broad-scale wave of strikes on Lebanon's capital, with civilians telling the reporter in Beirut, quote, we're really afraid. Iran has launched fresh strikes on Israel, while Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Bahrain say they've intercepted attacks. It comes as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says U.S. strikes on Iran are about to, quote, surge dramatically. The United Kingdom Deputy Prime Minister says there will be more attempts to get repatriation flights out of Oman after the first UK chartered plane from the Middle East landed at Stansted Airport. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At
HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have less than a half an hour to go with the Honorable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration. We have opened up the phone lines. We do have a caller, but Minister Myles, if you remember exactly the details of the writers thing, I'll give you an opportunity to respond to that.
Yes, I am. I just want to reassure the writer that we're spending a lot of time looking into what she said. What there are two things. The first thing is that it is much more complicated to actually put in a deeming provision for people born after 1977 because of the various immigration laws and the British Nationality Act. It has compounded some of the challenges of what we're doing. However, we are looking into that. Another thing is that there are a lot of people that were born after 1977. I think we have almost 17,000 people born after that period of time that have actually been acknowledged. Mm-hmm. So we know that we need to also fix this one as well, but this is just going to take a little while longer because of the various laws that were implemented after 1977 and the British Nationality Act that has compounded this issue. Okay, yeah, and the British Nationality Act, that amendment was 1st of January 1984, I think it was, somewhere around there. Yeah. Yep. Okay, we do have a caller, you said, Ms. Susan? Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Connor.
Good morning, good morning.
And good morning to the Honorable Minister there.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am not also a regular caller on this program, but I'm also regularly sending the Honorable Minister there little bits and pieces.
Yes, you are.
Everything I hear on the street, I send him, or any opinion that I have. Mm-hmm. And to tell you the truth, O.C., on the money, he always answer. Sometimes I don't really like the answer, but it's not the answer I expect. But he right on the ball. He always answer me. And about the acknowledgement, my roots goes back to 1796. That's the documentary that I have, 1796, John Jarrett Connolly. And I don't know if I have to get naturalized or acknowledged, but I don't. What's the pros and cons? Because I don't think I need that. I got a Cayman passport. I got a birth certificate. I even had the European Union passport. Now I switched to the British passport, and I got my Cayman passport. Yeah. So, and nobody can tell me about me not being able to do what I want to do here in the Cayman Islands. Now that will be the day, So I'm not too interested in doing anything. I tell you a little story. One of my daughters, put in for a job in one of the major firms and asked her for parent, or, wanted to find out who she were, and she ran and got her mother's birth certificate. But guess what? Back in the day, some of the people went to Jamaica for medical reason and find out her mother was born in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. But guess what? When she was very, very young, I personally got a DNA for her, unknowing to her mother. So that, good thing I did that, and I gave that to her, and then that kind of, helped her out.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not too interested in that. I don't think that should even come about.
You don't have to acknowledge. I just assure
get acknowledged.
No, you don't have to get the acknowledgement. Your specific age group, we weren't concerned about because you were already deemed as Caymanian. The specific age group that we were very focused on of people who were grappling with the whole deeming provision was really between 1972 and 1977.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we've been able to fix that.
Yeah. Okay. One quick one, and I'll go. Minister, as far as I can remember, being around with the core product for many years, I thought that to get a heavy equipment license, any sort of license to operate or to own a heavy equipment, it had to go to cabinet, right? I think that's the way it worked. I'm wondering if that's still the case, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry now is driving a dump truck. A dump truck where that individual that driving the dump truck don't have no way to park the dump truck. They're parking it on the sidewalk. They're changing the oil from the truck on the sidewalk, messing up the sidewalk. They're everywhere they can get to park a dump truck. They're parking these dump trucks and working on them on the side of the roads and stuff like that. So I just wondering if that's still the case, where you had to be approved by cabinet to operate or to own such equipment, because everyone else that start a business you have to indicate place of business, block and parcel number or something of the sort. Isn't that the case?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a trade and business license thing. And I stand to be corrected. I will certainly speak with the Premier or DCI to see what it actually is. But I have never, in my time of being certainly in cabinet, I've never seen a person apply to cabinet to get this said license of owning heavy equipment. That's a trade and business license thing. But like I said, I can follow up with that to see how that works. But I'm pretty sure that person would have to have a trade and business license. Mm-hmm. And if you believe that, these particular people are not operating in the right way, like I had people who had called me about other folks who had businesses, but they were not in the right, they were in residential areas. I've had to report that to DCI, and DCI went and enforced that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more in terms of importation that was cabinet's involvement as opposed to bring it into the island. Yeah. Once it gets into the island, then in terms of changing hands, I'm not sure that there's any legislation for that. Lord Graham, thank you very much for that. We do have another caller, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a question that we have. We're going to go to our commercial break, Ms. Susan, and then we'll take the caller after. So this person says, currently work is deferring work permits for new employees because they need to prove that they have pensions and insurance. Their question is, shouldn't it be the new company, up to the new company to prove that they have pensions and insurance? One company has nothing to do with the other. Pensions are required for individual companies. Can you speak to that? So we can address that when we on the other side of this commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
By now, you should know that the use of tobacco and alcohol are determinants of ill health, meaning that they negatively influence health outcomes for users. Yet 13% of Cayman's population are current smokers, and 9.9% of the population drink daily.
The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
K-Fest 2026 is here. The Cayman National Cultural Foundation brings Cayman's biggest art season, featuring 3 standout experiences. The legendary National Dance Theatre Company of Jamaica performing Rise, K-Fest on Film, presented by DART, and the beloved Red Sky at Night, a multidisciplinary arts fair under the stars with local performers and artisans. You don't want to miss it. Catch NDTCJ live at the Hartwell Theatre on Friday, March 6th. And join us for Red Sky at Night on March 21st. Tickets are available now at ticketsplus.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Take the caller first. Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going to take the caller that we have online first, and then the WhatsApp question that was posed. The minister will respond to that after. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C., and good morning, Minister. This is Arden McLean.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Minister, I see that you are trying to address this vaccine issue that has plagued this country for quite some time. And in particular, it started under the Alden administration, you know. Okay?
I heard you were one of the main instrumental people that's pushing for this, so yes.
Pardon me?
I heard that you were one of the loudest voices that were pushing that we did not need this acknowledgement many years ago.
Well, after I left politics, my sons and I went into a little business license, and the lawyers say that they needed acknowledgement letters for my 2 sons, albeit the 2 of them born since 1977.
Mm-hmm.
And my response to them in writing was, it will be a very cold day in hell when my children go get acknowledged as Caymanian. Now, Minister Myles, I just want to reiterate what I have said on a number of times on the floor of Parliament. It is demoralizing for Caymanians. Like you have said, you didn't use that word, but you say, you know, it's not good, whatever it was you said.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing for Caymanians to have to go and get their birth certificate to take it over to the immigration to get acknowledgement of being Caymanian.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most asinine thing this country has ever done. And during the PPM administration, the last 8 years of that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, every human, and I've said this before, Minister, every human being born into this life, into this world, is issued with one birth certificate, Only one. You can't be born in Archangel, Russia, and get a birth certificate from Cayman. We also then have people who haven't been born in this country of Caymanian descent, but was never acknowledged and got status years ago when they came here, that we were calling ghost Caymanians.
Yeah, many of them.
In 2003, we went and put in there that they could apply for status, but we put a sunset clause in there. That was the key for them. Mm-hmm. And they gave them 1 year to do it. We changed that on mine and Ezra's insistence recently before you guys got into politics and stuff. And it's wide open. Here we are telling our people the British Nationality Act says such and such. Yet, see, you will remember this. Was it 89 or 90? In that region, 92, up to 92, that we were once again bequeathed, if you want to call it that, with citizenship of England. All those who were residents and Caymanians were bequeathed with BOTC and citizenship. You needed only
2002.
to apply.
2002.
Pardon me?
2002.
2002 it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My memory is fading too, I used to claim that. But I know it happened, though.
Oh, yeah.
Me. Now, here we are with these kids going to university, and having been born of Caymanian parents who were bequeathed with this, if you want to call it that, for the lack of a different word. And they need to go get acknowledgement. Yet, the British Nationality Act also says, because I studied it extensively, also says that the child will take the nationality of the parents if they're married. Number two, the Secretary of State will accept DNA results, i.e., if it's a single parent, for the father's a single parent. But the child takes the nationality of the mother is also a provision in there.
Yep.
And here we are. These kids are born in this country, and then they cannot get acknowledgement that their mother, whose birth certificate was issued here, in most instances before 77, and, well, it would have to be because it's the kids in many instances, and here we are telling them they got to go get it. Now, Minister, my position was that Cabinet had to issue a directive. Anyone with Caymanian birth certificate, and I got to tell you a little joke about that.
Running out of time, so I got to move you on quickly. Minister's leaving.
Well,
he's leaving us at 9:30.
All right, I understand. That you're breaking my train of thought now.
Sorry about that.
But the children need to apply for it. The parents who were born in this country, they got to go and get a birth certificate. Alden told me on the floor of Parliament, and the record is there, that they could not guarantee the authenticity of those birth certificates. Now, this is really a serious matter in this country. Now, I don't have a problem with Caymanian kids being required to produce their birth certificate and their parents' birth certificate, which also comes from Cayman. So when I asked Cabinet to issue that directive that each person must produce a birth certificate and one of their parents who was born in Cayman, as a birth certificate. Now, that proves that person is Caymanian. Now, I want to know how Minister Myles' children will be needing a birth certificate, acknowledgement, and Mr. Myles, there's no disrespect to you and your efforts and whatever you're trying to do now. How they will need to get a certificate of acknowledgement when Minister Myles had to prove that he was Caymanian to become a member of Parliament. Now, you tell me how that works.
It's madness.
Okay. Mr. McLean, thank you. Thank you very much for that. So, Minister Myles, we have about 6 minutes left. I want to give you an opportunity to respond to Mr. McLean. And we have the other question in relation to pensions and insurance.
I know that Mr. McLean have been a major champion of us not having to prove our Caymanianness, and he's right. Some of the things that has been discussed, certainly way before my time, has been insane. I just, if we have lineage in our country, I had to get an acknowledgement. I went ahead and got it because there were too many things that were being held up in my life. I couldn't. I have a British passport, and every time I travel, my wife would be frustrated because they wouldn't let me back on the plane coming back to Cayman because I have a British passport, and there was nothing in my passport that said that I was Caymanian. So, she's like, something, I can't do this anymore. You have to go get this acknowledgement, because I was one that was refusing to get it as well. All of my kids have also gotten their acknowledgements because they, in particular, my two eldest, they had scholarships, so I had to get their acknowledgements as well. So I understand how vexing this is. I understand that people are annoyed and it's causes inconvenience. Hence why we have, as a government, we have fixed this issue. Persons born after 1977, that's our next phase to tackle, and we're tackling that. That's going to be a bit more complex, but we're definitely going to be tackling that as well. The lady that wrote in, the writer that wrote in about pension, there's a couple of answers that I want to give. One is that a new work permit applicant does not have to have pension for at least 9 months. However, if work believes that the company that person is working for is not paying pension or health insurance, they can defer that work permit until that company provides a certificate of good standing that their pension and health insurance are updated. And I want to make sure that people are very much aware of this, because this is going to come out a lot more. According to our pension administrators, there are a lot of people. I'm actually getting the numbers, and hopefully we'll see by the time I come back on the show, I'm going to have the numbers of companies in our country that are violating our pension and health insurance laws, because more work permits are going to be either terminated or deferred when we find out what those numbers are, and certainly those companies are that are not paying persons' pension and health insurance. So if you are one of those companies, I am gently asking you to go get this sorted out as soon as possible, because we are going to be enforcing this. DCI, on the other hand, this is what I'm working on with the Premier, is that we are going to be moving away from people from people self-certifying, because currently when you apply for a trade and business license, you don't have to upload any information for health insurance or pension that you are compliant with those things, and we can give you a trade and business license. This is where it starts from, and we have to fix that, because the madness continues. Once that is not fixed, the madness continues further down into people applying for work permits, and if they're not actually paying for work permits, if they're not paying or if they're violating our work permit system, our pension and health insurance system, you better believe that they are more than likely not paying their employees appropriately, or there's other things that's going on in their companies on employee dissatisfaction and so forth. And this is what we have found. This is not genius work. This is basically, it's all predictable. And I've spoken with the Department of Labor and Pension. They have seen this quite a bit. The persons who are not paying health insurance and pension are also not paying their employees on a regular basis as well. So these are the things that we are going to be enforcing in short order. So I'm asking companies if they know that they are due to get all their pension and stuff caught up. I'm strongly suggesting that they do that now before it starts to affect overall their business.
Okay, Minister, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments and wrap up as well. And I'm looking for the date. I believe you're back with us on
next week.
Next week, yes. I'll find the date here. Go right ahead, Minister.
I want to thank first my colleagues of the NCFC government for assisting in unanimously passing the Immigration Transition Act 2026 on Wednesday and certainly yesterday. And I also want to thank the opposition, our independent members and the official opposition for also supporting the bill. We had 18 of the 19 folks. The Deputy Speaker were the only one that did not. She decided that because of her conflict that she could not vote in, which is understandable, and I respect her for that. But we had all 18 candidates or political candidates move this forward. I believe that we all really have a great opportunity now to have bipartisan agreements as we move forward. I have committed to the deputy speaker of the deputy leader of the opposition that I will consistently commit to ensuring that his caucus is briefed on the things of what we are doing through immigration and get their feedback and certainly respect their involvement. And him and I have already set a date in order to ensure that that happens. Our goal as the NCFC is to ensure that when we see discrepancies within our laws, our policies, that we fix them, that we don't continue to kick those down the street.
Yes.
Another thing is that, I'm very proud that our Department of Work, our Director of Work, is making major steps in order to ensure that our department continues to become compliant with efficiencies and ensuring that we are becoming a department where we can ensure that customer satisfaction is a major piece of what we're putting in. We are not there yet, and I will say that to the listening public, but we are going to get there. I would also like to thank our stakeholders. I continue to meet with a lot of business, with the business community to get feedback and how we're doing. And I appreciate their candidness on things that we can improve on. I don't hold offense to any of that because I see it myself. I can only assure them that we're going to get better. Our boards, we're making a lot of strides to align the boards, our department, and the ministry as one voice. My goal has always been is to ensure that we are doing this in a collaborative effort and that we're all on the same page. Immigration, the Department of Labor and Pension, we are making significant strides to improve. And as we roll out our new labor amendments, our new pension updates as well in our bill, those are going to be going to the within the public domain to get feedback. So we're going to be asking certainly folks in the business community and other people to provide us feedback so we can get this right and we don't have to continue to have people exploited and certainly have folks who are dissatisfied with employment in the Cayman Islands. So OC, I appreciate you giving me the time this morning. I'll be back on next week as well because what I want to do is share with the listening public some, the numbers that I'm seeing of folks who are avoiding pension contributions and certainly avoiding health contributions, because I think it's important now that we call out people and certainly call out organizations who are not doing the right thing, because it's costing us to continue to put in more staff to police this, which causes cost of living, because every time government have to hire people, our cost of living goes up. And I don't want to be part of a government that is always reactionary. I'd like to start to get out in front of this. So we are going to be ensuring that, we police this as much as possible, so we don't have to constantly be adding staff to our bottom line.
Okay, Minister, thank you. Thank you very much for making yourself available again this morning. Looking forward to more of these conversations as well. Hope we don't make you late for your meeting this morning, folks. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I have a few birthday shout-outs, but we're going to keep the phone lines open. Welcome your calls as well. I've also sent a WhatsApp message to Mr. McLean for him, inviting him to call back so he and I can dive deeper into this whole issue of nationality, the British Nationality Act, or local legislation, immigration that allows us to grant Caymanian status, and how in some instances those two may jive and in other instances they conflict with each other, which has put us in the dilemma that we find ourselves in when it comes to nationality and Caymanian status. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after this short commercial break.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The annual Rotary Central Health Check is here, Saturday, March 7th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 5 locations island-wide: Courcelles, West Bay, Ale Thompson's, Georgetown, Foster's Airport, Savannah United Church Hall, East End Health Center. Free blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar checks, healthy weight assessment, medical consultations, and more. Be a blood donor. The Rotary Blood Donor Mobile Unit will be positioned at the Savannah United Church Hall, Saturday, March 7th. Save the date and save your life. The annual Rotary Central Health Check. Free for you, valued at over $2,000. Your health is your wealth.
Hey, this is Matthew Leslie, and I want to wish Radio Cayman the happiest of anniversaries. 50 years. What a milestone. Oh, so much memories of Radio Cayman, but one of my favorite was growing up with my great-grandmother in her house on the weekends and listening to the Country Countdown. That was one of those memories that always stays with me as a child, and it was made possible by Radio Cayman, keeping it on the airwaves. Thank you so much, and happy anniversary.
The Ring of Fire.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Again, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Minister Myles for being on the program and again, making himself available to explain some of the things that have taken place and also to address some of the nuances that we face as far as immigration is concerned in the Cayman Islands. So we have been asked also if we could please send birthday wishes to Miss Dulce Powry. Miss Dulce celebrated her birthday yesterday, and they're wishing Miss Dulce God's richest blessings. These Birthday greetings, of course, are coming from Miss Blondie, Norman, and the rest of the family. I'd also like to extend happy belated birthday greetings to Miss Dulce as well. I was a strong member of her immigration team when I was at immigration and even afterwards as well. So happy belated birthday to Miss Dulce Powdery. Also had been shared. One of our listeners also shared this and these comments with me. Person said that I think there should also be attention being placed on Caymanian civil servants who are not promoted into jobs that they qualify for, but there are non-Caymanians that are promoted in those jobs as well. And before I go there, also we wanted reminded that Miss Dulce is a Florence Nightingale to these 3 islands, again, coming from Miss Blondie. So, Caymanian employment, promotion in the civil service. Well, one that I'm sure everyone is looking closely at and anticipating is who will be chosen as our next deputy governor. As you know, in our 2009 Constitution, provisions were placed in there that the deputy governor must be Caymanian and the holder of the position of cabinet secretary must also be Caymanian. What it doesn't say is that they have to be a born Caymanian. So Caymanian, the definition, you were born or granted Caymanian status as well. But it'll be interesting to see who our new deputy governor will be. That will be interesting. And I think that, to a certain extent, will also tell us the commitments that the civil made in the civil service to continue the long tradition that we have had. One of the things that we have not had, and I'm saying this, and most of you know my leanings in terms of choices, we have never had a deputy governor or a chief secretary who's a female. Never had it. We have had persons who may have acted in the position, but we have never had a female to hold that substantive position. I will say no more. We do have 2 callers. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Mr. O.C., I've been looking into this situation with the British Overseas Territories citizenship and Caymanian citizenship and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. O.C., I know you've been in immigration a long time. You know about these things. Is there a difference between a British Overseas Territory citizen and a Caymanian citizen, Mr. O.C.?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, there is. And I'll tell you why there is. Well, first of all, there is no such thing as a Caymanian citizen. That terminology would be inappropriate simply because we are not in a position to determine citizenship. That is why it falls under the British Nationality Act. So our citizenship is British Overseas Territory citizenship acquired by virtue or through the British Nationality Act. Caymanian status, something that is localized. It is unique to Cayman. It is governed by our immigration law. The British government has allowed us, by devolving immigration to our local legislature, to our parliament, by devolving that subject and that responsibility to them has allowed us to grant something called Caymanian status, but it is not citizenship. It may be similar to citizenship in certain respects. As a matter of fact, it carries with it Caymanian status in relation to the Cayman Islands carries, you have more benefits as a person possessing Caymanian status or being Caymanian as you do as a British Overseas Territories citizen. For an example, for instance, if you're only a British Overseas Territories citizen, you are not allowed to have a trade and business license. You have to be Caymanian to have a trade and business license. So if you're BOTC, so that would be one example of it. We also have British Overseas Territories citizens who still have to maintain or get permission to work in the Cayman Islands. So the two are not the same.
I've been looking at that, Mr. O.C., because I'm not the kind of guy that like to travel and make all these changes with passport and all that kind of thing either.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to watch and see what's going on with the laws, So there is a difference between a British Overseas Territories citizen and a Caymanian then?
Yeah, huge difference, yes.
And
now if I can interrupt you, that you can have both. Also, you can have both. Yes. For instance, for instance, you and I, we are Caymanians by virtue of the provisions of the immigration law because we were either born in the Cayman Islands or of parents, one of whom was born in the Cayman Islands and domiciled in the Cayman Islands, right? So you and I have that. But that Caymanian status can't get us a passport. White can't get us a passport because it is not citizenship. And all of that stems from the fact that we are still a British colony.
And therefore, is it another question I want to ask? Is it the change of the passport that makes you a British Overseas Territories citizen, or not? That's what I would like to know.
When you say change of the
because I remember when they were asking people to get their British Overseas Territories some passport thing.
That was a British passport. So what happened in 2002 was that the United Kingdom decided that we want to be generous to our overseas territories. And of course, there are some 14 of combination overseas territories and protectorates or whatever they call them, a total of 14. Out of those 14, the population at the time in 2002 was no more than 150, 160,000 in total. So there was no danger for the British government offering British citizenship to those territories. So that is what they did. So that's how we ended up with the British citizenship. And they said that how you ended up with the British citizenship would be if you apply for a British passport, then you automatically claim your British citizenship. Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there because we have to go to a commercial break. I believe we still have another caller on hold. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy, and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
50 years of Cayman's Voice, the People's Station. Strong, dedicated, committed, where every story belongs. News, music, community events, and talk shows lighting the way. From Grand Cayman shores to the Brac standing tall. Little Cayman's heartbeat, we're here for them all. Radio Cayman, 50 years we stand. One people, 3 islands, broadcasting boldly into the future.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. How many callers do we have left, Miss Susan? 2 callers. 2 callers, 10 minutes. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Me again.
Okay, good morning again.
Yeah, OC. I heard you made mention of whether you got to be Caymanian to be deputy governor, but you said that you're not. It doesn't say whether you got to be born Caymanian. In that case, then we'll see every third person that I meet could be deputy governor, because every soul I meet tell me now that I'm Caymanian now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had somebody with status told me that they're more Caymanian than me because they have a certificate that shows who they are, but I only have a birth certificate that says where I was born.
Yeah, and of course, I don't want to mislead people, because there's more than just being a Caymanian that will qualify, that you have to qualify in order to qualify.
Yeah, we know if they go through the procedure, in civil servant.
Senior civil servant, things of that nature. But, in terms of the citizenship part of it, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
That's the first start.
Mm-hmm.
So what we should do, that should be one of the amendments that come to the House. You know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That you have to be a generational Caymanian or something like that.
Yeah.
To be a deputy governor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Quickly, the local banks are now making a lot of jobs redundant and shipping the work overseas. Namely, Trinidad is one of the places I heard. And all 6 employees are being let go all at the same time, and giving them a choice of 3 months' pay or take the payout or something like that. So we're increasing our unemployment here and taking care of other people's unemployment over overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And they not even know the procedure, because I know of people who have been charged late fees because they had standing orders to pay their credit cards, and when they come find out, the overseas people that are now taking care of the credit card section are not doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, and would that not jeopardize the age that we had on other countries by having this banking system, secret type of banking system? How can we now trust people overseas with that setup that we had?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah,
so we don't even know who they are, and we're now trusting them with the thing that almost that kind of sort of helped Bill Cayman, that we had an age over that people was jealous of?
Mhm,
What makes you
mhm.
think now they want to do something to disrupt our system,
Yep.
our banking system here?
Yep.
So I think we need to look into that, OC. You know,
Good
whoever
point.
they are. I don't know whether that would come on the steamer or who would have to do that, but that's not good.
I think the premier did mention that he has been in discussions, and one of the things that they're going to be looking at, as far as banking legislation and procedures are concerned, that's something that they will be looking at as well. So hopefully it'll be addressed.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank
See you later.
Okay, let's grab the last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'd like to be on the show.
You are. Go right ahead.
Oh, you're answering your calls now, Mr. Connor. Okay. All right. We're downsizing that radio Cayman now. Anyway, good morning to you. This is Carrie from the Brack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a little concerned about something a caller made. Maybe you can clear it up for me. Maybe I misheard it. In respect to us Caymanians, meaning myself, yourself, that we can't get a trade and business license because we are not Caymanian?
No, I don't recall anyone.
Something to that. So what is it they're trying to say? I mean, I understand we had a lot of ghost Caymanians in this country for multiple years. Couldn't even get a passport. Couldn't even leave the country even if they had a medical emergency. So I'm glad this is now being addressed because it's been put on the back burner for too long, and our people have suffered as a result of this. And I call them our people because regardless if one of their parents was a generational Caymanian, I still consider you a native. And that's how we need to be identified. Native Caymanian, not this foolishness that they got going on out here. My point about all of this is, why was it so long? Why were we not addressing these poor people in this country, the children? So much has been taken away from them and given to these people with status holders, especially the mass status grant holders. And I think that needs to be revisited. And everyone who got in the mass status grant should have a lot of stipulations now added to their status to ensure that they're not getting more than our generational, if you want to call it that, native Caymanians. And I see a lot of that happening, especially in the BRAC. There is a lot of illegal things going on in the BRAC with respect to these individuals that got status in the mass grant. And we need to put a stop to it. I am very, very pleased with the NCFC. They're the first government of this country who's actually taken all the horns and starting to deal with them, shaking the bull by the horns. And I am grateful to see they're making a lot of strides. They're making more strides in Parliament and than we've seen multiple years prior to them with previous party systems, UDP and PPM. Well, they were the two that made us homeless in the minority. So that's my point of view, and I'll hold to that till I die, because they did.
Thank
and
you
they
very
can't
much,
say
caller.
they didn't.
Thank you very much. So, folks, I have about 4 minutes left, and I think I have enough time to explain this. Those of you who have an interest in this, take there's a piece of legislation called the West Indies Act. An act enacted by the United Kingdom Parliament. Every country, and there are not many of them left. Of course, we fall into that bracket of those who are left. There are many of them left who have not obtained at least constitutional or political independence from their mother country, right? Part of the West Indies Act has to do with that transition from a colony to an independent country and what takes place then. I will use our neighbor Jamaica as an example. If you look in at the Jamaica Constitution and on the date that their constitution is coming into effect. Look in the portion that talks about citizenship, and it will tell you on the commencement, on that date, who is considered a citizen of Jamaica at that time. And it was very simple for Jamaica, for it to be done by Jamaica. Because basically, it says, if you were, a British subject or whatever, it tells you what the qualifications are. And on that date, when their new constitution came into effect, those are the persons who are citizens of Jamaica, clear and concise. Here in the Cayman Islands, we have the dilemma now, even before any stage, as far as independence is concerned. But we had a new constitution in 2009. We had an opportunity at that point in time, albeit that it may have taken more time. It may have been a little bit more legal research and considerations being taken into place. But we had an opportunity to define who is a Caymanian in our Constitution. We didn't do it for various reasons. We didn't do it. What we said was, Caymanian, the definition of Caymanian is what is in our immigration law. That is what it said in there. So we didn't take that opportunity to redefine Caymanian. But if you have an interest, like I said, look at the West Indies Act, look at one of the any of the constitutions of any Caribbean country that obtained their independence, and you will see, starting on the date that their new constitution came into effect, they will define precisely who is a national at that point in time. It may not be as simple for us here in the Cayman Islands. As the years go, it may become even more complicated. Like I said, we had an opportunity to do so, but time constraints, the whole convoluted issue, the fact that we still a British overseas territory as well, all of those factored into us not doing that in 2009. With that, I want to thank all of those who called in this morning and contributed to the conversation, or who sent WhatsApp messages, as well. I take this opportunity to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. Remember International Women's Month as well. There are those who are less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Mr. Charles Glidden at 12:15 for a talk today. Have a great weekend. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This is the People's Radio Station.